Once upon a time, there was a garden. The garden was filled with the most beautiful plants, and its beauty was known worldwide. This garden was your home. As a part of the latest cherry blossom tree exhibit, you were told that you would be taken care of until you bloomed. Sunlight, water, and good soil were in seemingly infinite supply, and were there for you whenever you asked. But you were never visited. You waited patiently, watching as other plants with more colors were more popular than you. You wondered what set you apart. You asked your caretakers why the other plants were more visited than you, and they told you it was because they had pretty flowers and you didn't. While this made you sad, you were told of your future potential, of a future filled with bright pink petals covering your branches from trunk to tip. So you waited for a little longer, for the day when you would be looked at with as much awe as the other plants. Many walked through the exhibit to get to other sections faster, but no one ever stopped to look at the little sapling. Until one day a father and his young son were walking through the exhibit, and the son took notice of you. You perked up, hoping that you would finally get to experience what it felt like to be admired. The boy looked up at his father and said,
Dad, I think this little tree is pretty, so why is no one else stopping to look at it like the rest of the plants?
The father looked down at his son and said, "Compared to the rest of the plants, it isn't pretty, but it's not like it's meant to be pretty right now. Just wait until it blooms, then everyone will come to look at it. Let's go look at some of the flowers that are in bloom, somewhere else." You were devastated. You wanted to be admired, but all anyone cared about was what you would look like in the future. Only the boy thought you looked pretty now, and even he seemed more interested in other plants. You wanted to leave, to go somewhere people would like you for who you are now, not who you were supposed to be later. But your roots held you in the dirt. What was once your home now felt like a prison. Against your will, you continued waiting, until one day you began to bloom. Now, just like everyone had told you, people came to visit you. People came to admire you. Now, fully grown, you were overjoyed, finally being able to experience what you had only witnessed for so long. But your flash of fame and popularity would be as short-lived as your petals, which would eventually fall off, leaving your branches empty. An all too familiar feeling returned to the exhibit as once again you were ignored. You wondered what would become of you now that you had lost your petals. The unfortunate answer would soon appear. A team of workers came in with axes and began hacking at you. You cried out in pain as the axes destroyed your hopes for the future just as much as they destroyed your trunk. With a voice filled with agony, you asked why you were being cut down. The workers responded, saying that now that you had lost your petals, no one cared to see you anymore. You couldn't believe it. After all those people who looked in awe of your petals, how could they not care anymore? But when you looked at the people passing through the exhibit, you found what the workers said to be true. No one even glanced at you. Without your petals, you were invisible. Without your petals, the world moved on. With your last bit of hope gone, you fell over, defeated.